I enjoy doing my Backyard Professor videos. I'm just out here enjoying Mother Nature this morning. It's a really cold morning. Really a cold morning. Kind of surprising to me. But I have some things I want to say, some more things I want to say on the theme of evolution and intelligent design, and share some of the ideas and the some of the ideas that I have in the books that I've gathered. Oh, winter's coming. You can see the snow on the peaks. Yeah, almost time to go snowboarding. I'm gonna try to do some snowboarding this year. So anyway, I think it's time to have a little bit of an understanding with this theme of evolution. And let me move my camera over here a little closer to the truck. I'm by my truck right now. Thanks for all your replies to my videos on the intelligent design debacle in the courts of the United States Supreme Court, as well as some of the local courts. It is important, in my opinion, to get to the core issues, and that, to me, is the core issues. But this idea, there is a lot of misunderstanding about evolution, and I'm not saying I understand it perfectly either. I probably don't. Now, I know several people have brought on Richard Dawkins, and they are extremely offended by him because he says evolution allows one to become an intellectually satisfied atheist. That's good. That's good for Richard. That's fine. Mr. Dawkins, if that makes you an intellectually satisfied atheist, good. That gives meaning to your life. I'm happy for you, truly. Now, I'm here to say, is this a necessary conclusion? And I would argue no. It's not. Dawkins and other atheists, of course, would argue otherwise. And that's fine. That's within their rights. That's good. I'm here to tell you, because of my study of evolution, what little I've done, what little I understand about evolution, and the processes and the implications and the grandeur of life, as Darwin so aptly noted, is that my study of evolution has allowed me to become an intellectually satisfied Mormon. And you go, oh, that's idiotic. No, it's really not idiotic. I promise. My study of religion has allowed me to be an intellectually and spiritually satisfied Mormon as well. I mean, I study the biblical languages, the Hebrew, Aramaic, and Greek. I love studying the spirituality of the Zohar, the Bahir, the Sefer Yetzirah, the Kabbalistic texts. I love the Jewish commentaries. I love the Christian commentaries. I enjoy the Dead Sea Scrolls. I enjoy studying the Nag Hammadi, the Gnostics. I enjoy studying Mormonism through farms and fair. And I also enjoy studying science through evolution. It gives me a broader, deeper, greater appreciation for this entire creation. That's why I love coming out into my backyard. Evolution teaches you the how and the way things occur naturally. That allows me to appreciate this world I'm on even better, because I'm learning the how. I believe religion answers the why. So see, I'm intellectually and spiritually satisfied because I'm having various different categories, perspectives presented to me as a Mormon that I enjoy. Now, I'm reading Charles Darwin's materials. I've been reading them off and on for quite a while now, several years. And what impresses me the most about him is his ability to observe, his understanding of the detail. I mean, it's magnificent. I have this text, this brand new text by Oxford University Press, just out, just this last week. the Beagle's letters. All of the letters back to him and that he wrote while he was on that 5-year voyage on the HMS Beagle from 1831 to 1836, it's been brought together. And you can see the character of the man. You can feel his excitement. You can feel his boredom. You can see how he goes out and collects specimens of birds or plants or fossils, so on and so forth, and his utter delight with the world. Folks, it wasn't evolution. He wasn't an evolutionist on the Beagle. That much is pretty clear. We now understand that. Evolution came later, as he was exploring the implications, as he saw the comparisons and contrasts of different peoples down in South America, opposed to those he was with on the ship and his native land, and so on and so forth. Well, this fascination with nature, he had Lyell's Principles of Geology with him, and he read those ravishingly. And he wrote back and forth to Henslow and Sedgwick, back and forth with his letters, and they were the scientists, the geologist and the naturalist, back in his hometown. And he sent his collections back home to them, and he would study them later. He became an evolutionist later. Darwin was not satanically inspired. That is just empty fluff rhetoric. That is pure pablum. It's false. When you read his letters, it's very much like when Dean Jesse come up with the Joseph Smith papers, the letters, the personal writings of Joseph Smith. You really got an amazingly clear and fascinating insight into Joseph Smith's character. So many people said, oh, he was devilish, he was evil, he was deceived, he was a false prophet, he was wicked, so on and so on. We think that putting a mere label on something gives us the reality of that something or someone, and it does nothing of the sort. None of these letters by Darwin were meant to be published and shown to the public. He wasn't thinking, oh boy, this will make a great book. He was simply dashing off letters to all kinds of friends and family. So we get an insight, a very perfect, personal insight into the character of Charles Darwin. He was a good and gracious and humble man, but he was also very inquisitive. I loved that about him. I really enjoyed his ability to see nature more fully than most would. I love that in him. Well, last night as I went on a date, and we went out to the used bookstore, and I bought a couple of new books. Actually, I bought a couple of new books in the used bookstore. I got them for $10 each, thank goodness. And I know that so many people are so offended by Richard Dawkins. Actually, I'm kind of offended by him too, but I shouldn't be. His religious squawkings really are just diatribes, and I'm just not that impressed with it. His scientific writings are very good, really, truly. Now, I'm one of those that I take the injunction in the Doctrine and Covenants seriously when it says to read in the good books, read out of the best books, books of knowledge on history, on geology, on science, on religion, about God, about the earth. Really, truly, the more knowledge we get, the more exalted we get. So, and there's some people who, and so I say read the best of everyone, and just because it's in print doesn't make it true. Just because they bring some author brings forth a whole bunch of evidences and then comes to a conclusion does not mean that I have to go with that conclusion. I very rarely find an author that I singularly agree with 100% of the time. I pick and choose. I'll be quite frank with you. I really do. There are good and bad in all authors. The conclusions we come to are only as good as our strongest assumptions. And so we have to be careful with our assumptions. Hopefully that wind isn't blowing you too hard. Hopefully it's not wrecking the mic here. But anyway, Richard Dawkins has a very impressive idea in his book, A Devil's Chaplain. Let's see. Yeah, this is the new one, 2003. The newer one. I bought another Richard Dawkins books, Unweaving the Rainbow, last night. And then I also bought the Desmond biography of Charles Darwin. Great, big, thick, huge book, and it's been touted as one of the best biographies, so I'm really anxious to read about that also. Because now that I have Darwin's letters, now I want to read what his biographers said about him, and